celebrated on Friday night because we had such a great day. One of the best, if not the best days filming I've ever had. And I called him on Saturday and he said all of the negative from Friday has been destroyed.
And your feeling at that point, like I know it's like, a bit tricky to
I thought obviously it's a misinterpretation. He's got it wrong. I mean, he doesn't mean all the negatives been destroyed, because that's preposterous. How could it be? Then I felt sick, then I threw up, and then I got extremely angry, and I did damage to the apartment.
Did you really?
Yeah, not much. And then I wanted to extract revenge.
What, physical violence?
Yeah. I wanted to call Dushan, my driver, and load up with crowbars and baseball bat and whatever I could get my hands on and go up to the studio. It's cursed. There's been way too many bad things happening. Way too many beyond normal film fuck-ups. There's way too many of them. We may never leave here. Mentally, that's where I can't see the end. I didn't get any sleep last night. I'm now in like hour 40.
And last night was a night shoot, so you went home and just couldn't
sleep. And now I do believe I'm on the edge of insanity.
As in all films, you make a new family. Now, little Seamus and Liev and Julia, which is really funny because Julia and I finished our play on a Sunday night, and a week and a day later, there I am, killing her. You know, the daughter that I would have laid down my life for months on the stage, there I am, killing her. You know, it's just a funny adjustment for anybody. So, you know, it's the magic of what we do, and you're here, there, and everywhere emotionally.
Well, it definitely pulls you out of your personal life. I mean, you know, you're at home one day, you're having dinner at home you know, with your partner, your wife, with your dogs, and then you're on a plane to Prague for 3 months, and you know, so it's hard from that standpoint. At the same time, in this instance, and John likes to work this way, sometimes the destination ends up, it's work, but it's also a bit of an adventure. And then there's a real cohesiveness that the crew gets by being in sort of this place together.
I think my first reaction was about, oh shit, another remake. And then I just thought, it's been over 30 years. It's a great story. John made a very good argument for why, you know, it can be told again.
Was there elements of it being actually scary, or was there anything?
The bits. I mean, there was certain points. I mean, when they stick a live baboon in the back seat and a guy gets in with a gun and you're 6, you will be scared. I guarantee it. There's absolutely no way you won't be.
What advice would you give the young chap now that's doing it, and also his parents? What kind of advice would you give these guys?
Well, I think he's going to have a lot more help than what I did. He's probably have a lot more opportunities afterwards, because for me there wasn't a lot of film opportunities after that, just being 6 and living in Catford. The only thing he's got to get used to is 30 years of very poor jokes.
I'm so jealous and happy for him in both instances that I would love to have started as young as he has and had exposure to on this level. So, I mean, he was born in New York City from parents of Omaha, Nebraska. My wife is from Cleveland, and we're from middle class families. For him to, at 6 years old, flown first class to Prague, been here for a couple of months, and exposed to people who are known the world over, what a wonderful thing.
And there's the crazy momentum that you get, or an experience of getting to know all these different people, and you have to learn how to work with them and get along and do your job, and it's like mobilizing an army. You're all working towards one thing, and when it goes well and you feel like everyone's invested in the film, or you feel like you're coming up with a good product, it's thrilling. And there's always, anxiety before you. For me, there's always anxiety before I start something, and then that's sort of what fuels a performance.
A devil is sort of like an angel, but the angel's worst opponent is the devil, and the devil's worst opponent is the angel. The devil, he has horns and sort of like elf ears that point up, I guess. And he's sort of like an animal. I think he has a tail that has an arrow on the end. And he's red.
The script, really. I mean, the reason why I would do The Omen, why I would do a remake of The Omen, but actually, if you read the script, is a very, very taut script, a very tight, really written script. And I thought it was good. So you do them because of all those things.
I think it's fair to say that most actors have a certain degree of identity crisis. But then again, I think it's something that we all suffer from. I just think that we do it in public.
I'm fucked.
In terms of like a 3-day weekend, are you really looking forward to it?
I think yes, and I think it's going to be too much. Like, we're going to get out of the fucking rhythm and then be like, Monday's going to be a nightmare.
Yeah.
I need Bubble Man this side of camera, feeding stuff in under the lens all the time.
Well, the nanny is going to kill herself. And being a just and humane film, we decided not to do it in for real life. So she's actually going to be on a harness. So she's going to be on a sort of a fake rope that looks like a rope that she would use. and then also a steel cable which is hanging from a big construction crane, which you can see up there. And so what we have to do is to remove the steel cable and just make it look like she's hanging herself from the rope.
It's a free jump, free fall. The speed is real.
And now that the pressure is on Bubble Man, will he burst?
There's a little bit of nerves there.
He looks, his very liquid's trembling there a little bit.
They have prepared everything perfect. It's perfect.
One-
Maybe the big one there would fall. I mean, the next to the top.
Yeah, the crane.
The crane, it's falling.
Yeah.
I would fall too. Just one thing.
Oh look, he's bringing in emergency supplies. And you know, what I like is it's smart, obviously, keeping a toxic, brightly coloured liquid with 600 kids running around. Cut. Well done.
This is my job. I make these bubbles and children in bubbles. Yes. And smoke bubbles in pure bubble. 15 years.
That's a lot of bubbles. How tricky is it staging such a scene like this? Like, because was that 4 or 5 cameras?
5 cameras.
Nice one.
It's very easy. You need a good stuntman.
Yeah.
Who can do the job, and you just put cameras on it. It's dead easy, like filming a car crash. You know what I mean? If the car crash looks real, all you do is cover it.
In terms of like the suspense of this, what is the kind of key element for you? Is it?
It's all about disbelief. It's all about she does it, and everyone goes, "Oh fuck, that was real." Do you know what I mean? You want people at the party to think it was part of the entertainment.
It's very satisfying when John gets so happy. He gets ecstatic sometimes when he's directing, and it's very gratifying. You know, you start to wonder who the better actor is, but it's still pretty satisfying when he gets excited.
It's a very solitary life. I mean, by necessity, you're writing, you know, unless you have a partner, you're writing by yourself. So you spend a lot of time in a room with yourself and a laptop, sort of wrapped in your own head, trying to sort of bring to life on the page the sort of the vision and and ideas that you have. And I'd say that's, you know, so you spend an inordinate amount of time, you know, 6 months, 8 months of a year by yourself writing something. And that's why by the time something goes into production, it's such a thrill to actually be here watching it all happen.
If it is just a pragmatic thing, then it's a technical exercise. Why are we failing so badly? Because you're indulging some asshole 8,000 miles away, right? And his little fuck chum who can't get it done, who can't walk down the corridor and get it done, who says, oh yeah, I think he's reading it over the weekend. I mean, that's what's happening. I'm not impressed.
I never really found there was much magic backstage. The magic's out in the audience.
They didn't get the hanging at all?
Well, they didn't get the hanging, and I didn't get much traction on the grave either. I don't know what it is about this mother. I mean, I don't know. Let's pitch on it tomorrow.
Does he know, like, how urgent this is?
He does. He does.
The comfortable position of...
Look, we'll get the stuff tomorrow. That's not on the schedule yet, but...
You know what's going to happen. It's the panic to get it done is going to mean a missed opportunity. We're going to go to all the trouble of doing it, you know.
Well, unless you and I keep thinking. It's not on the schedule yet.
I know, but I'm getting that feeling like it's so easy to say now, yeah, that's great, but I don't like it as much as.
Right.
When nobody gave us any indication that, oh yeah, smothering home run. Then why do we write all the other versions? If somebody had said, you know what, genius, then why do we write the other stuff?
how did the original interest begin for you?
I also was an actor and an acrobat, so I was a very physical actor. And initially, I just auditioned for a part in Greystoke to play one of the apes. But they gave me the job of doing all the research and development, so that Warner Brothers paid me to study primates for 2 years.
You're a dirty animal. The pair of you, you're dirty animals.
We built a head especially for this scene, and it's a head that screams. So, because normally there's a limit to how much it can get the mouth open, but this one's built to go wah, a real big scream sort of into camera. And so but the only problem with that is it makes it virtually completely blind. Usually you've got a bit more vision. So you've got to run at glass, so you can't see where the glass is, and scream at the glass, hopefully without going through it. John, is it possible to see that playback of that once? It does sometimes help. I can't do it really loud because they'll hear it on the set, but you can make pretty loud noises with it. And just smaller tubes.
When I grew up, my first 12 years, the films were all made in Hollywood. So my parents went to work in the same town that we lived in. And then movie business started migrating. And I went on my first film voyage with my father and my 6 brothers and sisters when I was 12. We moved to Spain and lived there for a year, went to school there, pretended I was Spanish, got my ears pierced, learned Spanish. You know, and then we moved to England for another film. And I realized the chameleon-like thing of, it's an interesting way of life.
I think that people who are intrigued by character and behavior generally take a perspective on it from outside. People who have an ability to analyze behavior and mimic it tend to be people who have made a sort of clinical observation of it. So they tend to be sort of peripheral people, or people who, in one way or another, are outside of the behavior rather than inside it.
Better.
It's beautiful.
Did somebody like in a special school for mentally disturbed criminals do it as a homework project or something? Is that what it was?
It must be.
Or was it the fellas in Long Cash?
We were thinking.
Oh, sorry, we got it. Thanks, Mo.
Got a gottle of
You know what I mean? Did somebody really make that as a homework project?
Because there's so much going on and things change so much, so you've got to be able to kind of constantly move. And people who work in very set jobs aren't really able for that. When they come and visit or they see what we do, they go, oh, I don't know about all this changing around, and you never really know what you're doing next. And I mean, people do get a bit frayed, particularly when they've worked really long hours. That's the other thing. You really get pushed in terms of the hours that you work. But again, it's only for 3 months, and then you get a chance to kind of recharge the batteries. But you can really get burnt depending on the project. And this one, I would say, is a particularly difficult one, but that's the way it goes.
That's a bit, for me, it's great. I can constantly get to create. Like I can be a, draftsman, illustrator, painter, architect, set dresser. I get to do everything, so it's great. And I get to be a filmmaker, I mean, there's not 1 inch of any of these sets, I'd say, on this film that I haven't made a decision on. which is very important to me. So everything that you see in this film, I have had my hand in. So for me, I used to be a painter. I am a very creative person, so that's what keeps me going. Like, I'll work 24 hours a day because I love doing it.
You don't believe these things are nerve-wracking.
They're nerve-wracking?
Yeah, and you don't believe it, and I know you don't believe it. And that's okay, but they are. Because you're about to ask me why did I want to do the film, and I haven't even been able to answer that to myself. But now I have to come up with a saleable answer.
Just comes down to that initial deception when he decides to do something behind his wife's back that is very, very important to her and a very, very intimate part of their relationship. And I think the repercussions of that action pile up and mount. And Damien's true identity, whether or not he is the Antichrist, is almost irrelevant, because that act in and of itself is enough to poison their relationship and to prevent them from having any kind of goodness come out of what he's done. And I think that in a sense, to me, that act represents a lot of the evil in the film.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 15 is the wobble. 16.
20 lengths of track, 20 joints, 20 bucks.
Yeah. So
24mm lens, arc light cinema, dome. First hand, right? There you go. Universal ride. This shot is fucking undoable because of the track. The shot's undoable. Second? Shot's undoable. This is undoable. This track is so fucking bad. It's like that. On a 24mm? Yeah. Come and have a look back. It's not the Dougal level. It's the fucking shit track. That's what it is. It's the shit track. It's the shit track, Jim. Tonight's the night. Shot undoable. $50,000 setup. Shit track. Can't be done. Go look at a video playback. Look at the top frame line. That's a 24mm lens. It's as wide as I can fucking get it. And we can't get the fucking shot because we wanted to pinch a couple of grand on shit track. And I told you this night would come, didn't I? And here it is.
This was almost going to be your last day, but something went a bit awry, yeah?
Yes, probably the central piece of the whole death sequence, the major stunt, which is me being speared. It takes something like 3.5, 4 hours to do the makeup before we actually go out there. Then it has to get set up. There's rain, then there's blood, there's wind, there's clouds. And we took the shot, but then when they saw the rushes, the pole was wobbling. So we've got to do the whole thing again. I mean, it's been tough. Particularly this last week. I mean, doing all the stunt work.
Were there any kind of concerns from your end to start with?
That's a sort of a yes and no. I didn't have a concern whether he could do it or not. It's funny. Marty was speaking with someone, and they said, "Oh, well, is Seamus going to have acting lessons?" I mean, well, no. He does this already. It's not like you have to teach him. He does it already.
You know, it is an awesome job. I have to say, I mean, I really honestly feel blessed. Like, there's so many wonderful things about being an actor. Traveling is one of them, because it's amazing that I've gotten to live in Prague for this long and have an apartment and sort of not be a tourist, but really feel like I'm immersing myself in, you know, aside from the long hours that we work, but immersing myself in a foreign country, even though the only thing I can say in Czech is, you know, how are you?
Done this shot, and we come round to this side. Once we got the setup, there'll be about a 30-minute light. Can we go and do a look at a dog show and tell? They want to show us about 5 different routines just outside there.
I've seen the dog show and tell. One of their routines includes dogs running.
No, yeah, one is chasing.
No, running. Running mate, demonstrating that the dogs can run. The other
Is
4
one stopping?
routines consist of the British Police classic Stop Thief. In general, it's meant to be a demonstration of the intention of, say, a special effect or a stunt. Here, men with red noses and fuzzy red hair with large oversized pants come to mind. Tumbling around on small unicycles.
And what are we looking at this evening here?
Apparently this is rehearsal for the dog attack in the cemetery.
Right, so that's the killer dog going
On a
for...
wire.
Right,
Yeah.
gotcha, on a wire. And the other part of that is the real actor.
Well, what this is this can be Mad Dog restrained.
Yeah.
We track back and reveal him.
Basically, you can't physically kick the dog in the face.
He's gonna let the fucking dog off the leash.
Don't worry.
Excellent.
How close do you get to what you actually want?
Very, very rarely. Usually with good stuntmen. That's the only time it happens.
Yeah.
They give you exactly what you wanted, you know? Absolutely insane animals. And they know they're insane. They're like, I'm fucking insane. Come on, have a go.
All right.
Okay, so step away, please, sir.
Ryan, step away.
Oh, right.
I think you've got to lean him in. I think you've got to lean him in.
I think he's got to be between your legs.
Lean, there you go, there you go.
Okay.
Okay. How was it for you, mate?
So, ideally, Lev, you whack him.
Whack him in the butt. But this time really
This
whack him
time
on
you
this
can get
side.
him right in the flank.
Okay.
All right, watch yourselves, guys. Here we go, it's rehearsal.
Ready and action.
Too quick. I'm not going to do that. I'll do that. No, maybe not.
That's what they say! Let's go!
Interesting. What's going to hurt, I think, is when he starts pulling you down.
That's what I mean, against the ring.
Yeah.
What have we had you there? I'm desperately trying to sell you.
It's sharp, that man. I'd do it.
But he doesn't even want to do it. Look.
I asked to do it.
Yeah, David would do it, but it was
It's just
scripted
not in
the
the
other
script,
way,
the
so,
other way,
you know.
but,
And he's a big believer in the text.
I've done it before. I'll do it with the bigger dogs. No problem. But if you don't want to do it, then
You wouldn't even do it with the puppet.
They believe, you know, this is
Serious
safe and
conversation.
nothing should go wrong, you know, 90%, but there is always this 10% where they think, you know, something may go wrong.
And sign here, please, Mr. Schreiber, with this indemnity clause, if you wouldn't mind.
Okay, all right.
Wristwatch off.
Take the wristwatch off.
Let me help you with that.
He's a bit of a pickpocket.
What are you worried about the wristwatch for?
Might steal it.
You know,
It could upset the dog's stomach.
Expensive watch. It could upset the dog's stomach.
We've been going through the dog shit for days. There it is.
But wait a minute, if he goes anywhere near the wristwatch, then we've got a problem.
all right, get him off. Yeah, get him off. Let's go. Who's? Let's get. Who's?
On board.
On board?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. What happened to the 5 seconds and?
Not cliche, but the real fantasy London, almost 60s. You know, just so devoted to his work, and all he does is live in his dark room kind of thing. It's a good idea. It's Patrick's idea, the whole living in a garage, sort
Yeah.
of King's Cross kind of thing. And here we are, Jenny's.
Oh, I was wondering what this was.
Classic British racing green MG.
Yeah.
James.
So we'll have him here. So we can get a nice wide shot from up there.
So this is
Past
like his
the
office.
It's everything. That's his dark room. That's his
Yeah.
office. It's ideal, isn't it?
It
He's got a bath, look. Keeps himself tidy. And let's see what Jennings has of an evening. Look at that.
I thought...
Heinz baked barbecue beans, mate. Superb. Look at that.
Yeah.
You can tell we had for tea. Mushroom omelette with something unspeakable. Side we have his dark room. Look at this. This looks good. There you go. The mark. And he's like, oh, I want to go home for me tea.
The idea of believing. What do you believe in? Do you believe in anything? And how certain are you of your reality? And I do believe that our perception of reality is relative at best, and that it is fragile thing, and that in a moment can be shattered.
Generally, with the amount of work that there is left to do, how are you feeling generally in... No, come on.
That answer it?
No, you don't.
Fucking right, but they'll find me down here batting a light bulb. La la, la la.
Wide, as look down as we can get. I know we're not in the ideal config for a straight look down.
But you want that?
As much as you can get. Yeah. If we get him, we pin him, and we do a little rotate as he goes. I can't breathe. I really can't. It's hour 39.
You're a little bit tired.
It's hard to describe. Like, there's no difference between this and flying in the helicopter.
La la la. Another short day for you, John. Back over to
Yeah.
second unit. Direct them for about 5-6 hours. Hop you on the plane. Straight onto VFX Rome plates units. Bob's your uncle.
Biggest difference on this film is that, arrogant though this may sound, I feel we could have been bigger than the production. And we weren't. You know, we were ready for it, but it didn't come. Too many regrets.
That's a sign. This could be from the movie. This could be from the movie.
They're gonna make a
Now look, that one's gonna cross with that one. And then it's gonna cross with the one further on down. Watch. See? 1 cross, 2 cross, 3 crosses. That's a 6.
No, it's not, it's 3.
6 multiplied by 3 multiplied by.
There'll be 2 more dashing down through.
Look, watch now, there's gonna be a 3rd. That's air traffic control in its essence.
What are you going to miss?
Oh, it's great being on a film. You don't have to do real life. You just commit completely to the film. You don't worry about paying your gas bill and your... It's that, going back to real life is fucking awful. You know, it's all back now into management. Oh, there's an urgency that happens on films. You know, we have to have it, we have to do it, we have to go fucking go, no matter what.
Are you a workaholic, you think? Do you like...
So far as I don't enjoy time off, I feel very worthless.
Yeah.
I feel like a right stupid idiot when I'm not working.
Where does that ethic come from?
It's probably deep insecurity about being any good at anything.
Really?
Yeah. You know, I wish I could do something like play the piano or draw, paint. Because then you'd be like, right, I can do that, no one can take it away.
Yeah.
Whereas when you're doing films, unless you're actually directing them, you don't know if you're actually doing, you know, if you're actually working or doing the job. Unless you're actually doing it. So you feel shit when you're not doing it. Yeah, we did. We broke probably the most obscure record in the history of the pop music box office. Biggest Tuesday ever opening. I mean, that really is coming fourth in the egg and spoon race, isn't it? But for one-legged people. You know, it's that kind of achievement. I know, it's a strange old world, is Hollywood. Haven't quite figured it out.